In May of 2016, Trophy Club held its first Memorial Day event at Medlin Cemetery. We're here today to once again remember the lost soldiers, but we're not gathered in a crowd because of social distancing. But we are here to remember.
For a typical Memorial Day ceremony, we will get volunteers to come out and we plant flags at the Medlin Cemetery. We put a flag at each gravesite of the veterans. We also line the streets in front of the cemetery with the flags. We have speakers that come out, veterans who have stories of fallen soldiers, and we have the color guard come out. And then we also have anywhere from 100 to 400 people that attend the ceremony each Memorial Day.
Typically at Memorial Day, we have several veterans and some music, and we have 200 to 300 people that show up and hear the veterans talk about some of the people that they knew that gave their lives in the military. We also have Gold Star families that come that may have lost a son or a daughter. And bringing everyone together in a format of about an hour where they get to share and hear stories traditionally has been the way that Trophy Club's done their ceremony.
The difference is we were obviously trying to video it to make it what somebody saw as opposed to worrying about a live performance.
Definitely had some positives. We got a lot of feedback on the ceremony and how special it was to each person that saw it. We had a lot more viewers.
Some of the challenges in trying to do a social distancing version of a Memorial Day ceremony primarily are in the emotional impact, because it's very difficult to have meaning in a virtual event.
Remember that Memorial Day honors the memory of the fallen, those that died in the service of this country, those who truly are the real heroes of the preservation of the American way of life.
When we had the Memorial Day ceremony, it was kind of at the heightened peak of the shutdown, so we ended up scheduling everyone to come out in small groups, because at that time we couldn't meet in larger groups than 10. So we took precautions to social distance.
Not even all the speakers were there at the same time. They were done sometimes on different days. So how do you take all of that, put it together into something that's meaningful?
Well, there were no people other than those participants there. And so it made it a little different that there's no reaction of the people. You're not really talking to someone that's in the audience. You're just having to talk.
Because of the pandemic, we had to change the format. We couldn't all get together and sit shoulder to shoulder like we did before. In fact, we couldn't even have all the color guards and pomp and pageantry, I guess, that usually accompanied it. So we had to go to a social distancing version, which meant a virtual ceremony.
I hope we continue the services for some time to come. We hadn't always honored a Memorial Day in Trophy Club, but having Medlin Cemetery there with having war veterans that are buried there is an important aspect, and it lets us pay tribute to those people that have served their country, and many of them given of their lives.
When you hear the stories about these men and women who died while fighting for our country, fighting for our freedom, that story resonates no matter what, whether it's live or through a video. So it was a great experience, even though we were having to do things a little differently this year. I heard from one veteran that lives here in town, who's very near and dear to me, that this was the best ceremony that he'd ever been a part of.
In the future, we need to have a combination. We need to do, if we have an in-person service, we should also have a virtual service. So whether we record just live and broadcast it to Facebook as it happens, or we record it and edit it later to be released at a future time, one of those ways should happen, because we can just reach so many more people through a virtual service.